In this episode of Highlight Sundays, Google Chrome has a pretty bad time. Hello and welcome back to Highlight Sundays. It is the 4th week of 2014 and here are your highlights. So we start off with our PSA. This one has been the talk of the town recently. The article itself comes from PCWorld and is entitled "Spammers Buy Chrome Extensions and Turn Them into Adware." So in a nutshell, here's the deal. As you know, most browsers actually allow you to install little programs called extensions that, of course, extend the functionality of the browser itself. And so some of these get more popular than others, and the most popular ones can get millions of downloads. Things start to become a problem when a widely downloaded extension gets sold to a different set of developers, and these new developers want to take advantage of this huge group of people to do something unscrupulous. So in this particular case, a number of extensions were actually bought, and the new developers actually went ahead to add adware kind of capabilities into the program. So this included things like extra advertising, extra links, or even turning valid links into links to advertising sites. So in a way, it's really hijacking the functionality of the browser and using it as a way to actually deliver extra ads to the user. Thankfully, Google isn't just ignoring this, they are actually actively blocking extensions that are known to have been compromised in this manner. For more details regarding this particular piece of news, do head down to the video description. You'll find two articles, the first from PCWorld and the second from Engadget. The latter being just a short paragraph saying that Google has started removing such extensions. So, well, at least that's reassuring. We're not done with the potential problems of Google Chrome. This article comes from Gizmodo and is entitled "Google Chrome has a bug that lets any website eavesdrop on you." Now, right off the bat, I just want to mention that things aren't quite as creepy as it sounds. Here's how this exploit actually works. Let's say you go to a web page that actually requires you to use your microphone for something. Google Chrome will actually ask you to either allow or deny the use of your mic. Once you actually allow this, there will be some indication somewhere that tells you that, oh, your mic is on and the web page is listening. But what this web page could do is they could have a pop under, a window that, is technically a pop-up, except it hides under the main browser window. Thing is, that little window could be listening as well. So even if you close the page in your actual browser, that page still has access to your mic and is able, if it wants to continue recording whatever you're doing. So really, it's not quite as scary as, web pages can just listen in to you. In fact, the developers of Google Chrome have decided that this really isn't an exploit, and to be honest, I agree. A website has to go through a number of elaborate steps just to get there, to be able to even start listening to you. So hopefully, this should not be a problem for most users. I bet for most users, you should be able to notice that there is a pop under window. So I'm going to go ahead and say you probably won't fall prey to this particular attack. Having said that, the developers of Google Chrome are working on a fix, though nothing is confirmed as of right now. Oh, here's another article that's been doing its rounds on social media. This one comes from Gizmodo and it's entitled "The 25 Most Popular Passwords of 2013." God help us. So on top of the yearly rankings of best video game, best movies and things like that, we now also have a list of the top most commonly used passwords. As expected, most of these are cringeworthy, things like 123456, things like password. So yeah, just a friendly reminder that if you don't wish to throw your security out of the window, you'd do better to actually choose something that's not in this list. It's actually quite a funny read seeing, the top 25 passwords, so do head down to the video description and check out this article from Gizmodo. So moving on from the PSAs to the actual articles. Today, both the articles I have for you are actually, concerned with if you want to buy something. So let's start off with the first one. This one actually comes from a blog at Backblaze.com and it's entitled "What Hard Drive Should I Buy?" Now, Backblaze is a company that actually does online backup services. So of course, I guess they know their stuff about hard drives. Of course, it's your call as to how much you want to trust them, but in this particular blog post, they actually substantiate what they say with a whole lot of data. To quickly summarize, they have mainly hard disks from 3 different brands: Hitachi, Western Digital, and Seagate. The blog post actually goes into a lot of detail about, failure rates, how long it takes for them to fail, and things like that. Some of the interesting things we see from their findings include the fact that Seagate drives have a pretty bad failure rate. Apparently they work really well at the beginning and then they just drop off, so that is kinda unfortunate. The Western Digital and Hitachi drives are supposedly better in that particular sense. Definitely a very interesting insight into, hard drives, because normally we don't get to deal with that many hard drives, but because of the nature of their service, they can actually put together this kind of data. I'd say it's nice of them to share, so if you're gonna buy a hard drive anytime soon, you might want to take a closer look at this particular blog post. We move on to our final article of the day. This one comes from Lifehacker and is entitled, "Use Flickr to help you find your next camera." So here's the deal. When people upload images to Flickr, well, normally a bunch of EXIF data also goes up to Flickr. This data includes things like what camera you used and what settings you used when you took that particular photo. You can now use a page called the Camera Finder on Flickr, which will actually list trends when it comes to what cameras are used in the pictures uploaded to Flickr. They'll even let you see statistics like what are the most popular brands, and then you can actually go to that particular camera, jump in to see what kind of photos people have taken. Definitely a way to actually think about buying cameras, since this is a very on the ground kind of approach. Data doesn't come purer than this, so this is definitely a thing you can consider. Obviously this is more of a popularity contest than a proper kind of weighing pros and cons, so you probably want to think that through as well before you go into an actual purchase. Anyway, that's it. That wraps it up for this episode of Highlight Sundays. Just a quick announcement, there will be no episode of Highlight Sundays for the next week, and the reason for that is it's Chinese New Year, and Chinese New Year is a 2-day holiday. It falls on Friday and Saturday, the only 2 days that I use in a week to film. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the holidays instead of doing work, so I'm gonna take 1 week off. And since, as you know, I have my videos backlogged all the way to early March, well, the only thing you're missing out on is an episode of Highlight Sundays. So my apologies for that, but I'm sure that's okay. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. If you have any comments, queries, or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out the official Twitter account for this channel at twitter.com/0612tv. As always, I appreciate every like, favorite, and subscription you give me. But until next time, you're watching 0612TV.